Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of Lincoln Wheat Pennies, some of the most valuable and collectible 1-cent coins in American history. If you've ever wondered which rare wheat pennies are worth big money, how much your old Lincoln cents could be worth, and why certain dates sell for thousands at coin auctions, then you're in the right place. These coins are not just small pieces of copper, they are treasures of numismatics, with stories, rarity, and incredible value. Make sure you stay with me until the very end of this video, because I'll be sharing details on the most expensive wheat pennies ever sold, the key dates every collector looks for, and how even ordinary-looking pennies in your pocket change might be worth far more than face value. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and join our growing community of coin collectors so you never miss out on valuable coin videos like this one. Let's get started. First up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most talked about coins in American coin collecting, and today we're going to explore everything you need to know about this valuable penny. Many collectors and coin enthusiasts often ask about the 1944 wheat penny value, why it is important, and how much it can be worth in today's coin market. This coin, part of the Lincoln Cent series, has a fascinating history tied to World War II and has become a favorite among numismatists and collectors of rare pennies. If you have a 1944 Lincoln penny in your collection, or you've come across one in your change, you might be holding onto something more valuable than you think. Stay with me as we go through all the details, because this coin is not just another cent. It is one of the most desirable wheat pennies in coin collecting. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck in large numbers, but that doesn't mean every coin is common. In fact, within the 1944 penny issue, there are certain varieties and errors that make this coin incredibly valuable. The coin was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark, while the Denver mint coins carry a D mint mark under the date, and the San Francisco mint pennies have an S mint mark. Each one of these has its own value range, depending on condition and rarity. For example, collectors pay close attention to the 1944 S penny and the 1944 D penny, as well as error coins like the 1944 steel cent, which can be worth thousands of dollars. That's why this year of the Lincoln cent is always in high demand at coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces. Let's take a closer look at the historical background of this coin. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of Lady Liberty, making it a groundbreaking design. By 1944, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and this even affected coin production. In 1943, pennies were made of steel with a zinc coating due to copper shortages for the war effort. However, in 1944, the mint switched back to using copper from recycled shell casings, which gave the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny its traditional bronze appearance. This connection to the war makes the 1944 penny not only valuable, but also historically significant. When we talk about the value of the 1944 Lincoln penny, we have to consider condition. A heavily circulated 1944 wheat penny might only bring a few cents to a collector, but a well-preserved uncirculated example can sell for much higher amounts. Coins in mint state condition, especially those graded MS, 65 or higher, can command strong prices. And when it comes to the rare era varieties, like the 1944 steel penny, those coins can fetch thousands and even tens of thousands of dollars at auctions. In fact, the 1944 steel cent is one of the most famous era coins in U.S. history. Collectors know that only a handful of them exist, and that makes them incredibly valuable. Now, let's explore the different mint varieties. The 1944 penny from Philadelphia had the highest mintage, with over 1 billion coins produced. The Denver mint also struck hundreds of millions, while the San Francisco mint produced fewer, making the S mint mark pennies a bit more collectible. Even though billions of these pennies were made, collectors still seek out the finest examples because finding a 1944 penny in pristine condition is much harder than it sounds. After all, these coins circulated for decades, and most were worn down through everyday use. That's why collectors will pay premiums for coins with sharp details, full wheat stalks on the reverse, and rich original luster. The errors and varieties are what really make the 1944 penny valuable. One of the most famous errors is the 1944 steel cent, a leftover mistake from 1943 when the mint accidentally struck some pennies on steel planchets instead of bronze. These coins are incredibly rare and highly valuable. There are also repunched mint mark varieties, double die coins, and other striking errors that can make a 1944 penny worth far more than face value. This is why collectors always examine their wheat pennies carefully, because even a small error or variety can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a valuable piece of numismatic history. Another reason why the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is so desirable is because of its connection to the Wheat Penny series as a whole. Collectors of Lincoln cents often try to build complete sets from 1909 through 1958, which means every date and mint mark has demand. The 1944 issue, being tied to World War II and the return to copper, holds special meaning within that set. It represents the end of wartime steel coinage and a return to tradition, which makes it stand out historically. For new collectors, the 1944 penny is often one of the first older coins they acquire, and for advanced collectors, it is one of the coins they look to upgrade into higher grades. When it comes to the market value of the 1944 penny, prices can vary widely. A common 1944 Lincoln cent in average condition might sell for only a few cents to $1, but the higher grade examples, especially those with mint red color, can easily sell for several dollars or more. If you're lucky enough to come across one of the 1944 steel pennies, you may have a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. Even error varieties such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or repunched mint marks can bring impressive premiums in the coin market. Collectors are always searching for these unique coins, and that keeps the demand high for all 1944 wheat pennies. The beauty of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series, and especially the 1944 issue, is that these coins connect everyday people to history. Imagine holding a penny that was used during World War II, a coin that passed through countless hands over decades, and now rests in a collector's album. That sense of history and value is what makes coin collecting such a fascinating hobby. And for the 1944 wheat penny, that story is even stronger because of its wartime connection and the valuable varieties that have captured collector interest for generations. So, if you have a 1944 penny in your collection, or you come across one in circulation, take a closer look. Check for the mint mark, examine the condition, and look for any unusual features. You might just have a coin worth far more than a cent. Collectors all over the world continue to search for the best examples of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, making it one of the most enduring and valuable coins in U.S. history. This is a coin that deserves a spot in every collection, and its value continues to be recognized by both new and experienced collectors. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is valuable, historical, and collectible, and that's why it remains one of the most popular coins in American numismatics. Whether you're looking at the common bronze pennies, the scarcer mint-marked examples, or the legendary steel cent errors, this is a coin that will always have a special place in coin collecting. Next up, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark is one of the most fascinating coins from the mid-20th century Lincoln cent series, and it remains a collectible and often valuable coin in numismatics. When we talk about Lincoln Wheat Pennies, collectors always look closely at the dates and mint marks because some of them carry hidden value. The 1951 S penny is one such coin, struck at the San Francisco Mint, and even though millions were made, collectors know that condition, rarity of varieties, and overall demand make this coin far more valuable than just a single cent. If you own a 1951 S Lincoln Wheat Penny, you may be surprised to learn how much collectors are willing to pay for it in today's coin market. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, is one of the most famous coin series in U.S. history. By 1951, the wheat cent had already become a classic collectible. The obverse features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, honoring his leadership and legacy, while the reverse shows the two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design, which ran from 1909 until 1958, gave the coins their nickname of wheat pennies. The 1951 S penny fits into this long and historic series, and collectors prize it as part of the later wheat cents that still carry numismatic and historical value. Now, the San Francisco Mint played an important role in minting pennies during this era. The S mint mark appears just below the date on the obverse of the 1951 penny. For collectors, finding mint mark coins is always exciting, because the San Francisco issues tend to have smaller mintages than Philadelphia coins. In the case of the 1951 S wheat penny, tens of millions were struck, but compared to Philadelphia's massive mintages, San Francisco coins often carry more interest. This means that the 1951 S penny, especially in high-grade condition, is more desirable than the common Philadelphia examples. The value of a 1951 S Lincoln Wheat Penny depends heavily on condition. Circulated coins that were used in everyday commerce may only be worth a few cents to a collector, but uncirculated examples with sharp details and original mint red luster can be worth several dollars or more. In fact, coins graded at mint state 65 or higher are considered premium examples, and collectors pay strong prices for them. A 1951 S penny with full wheat stalks, strong strike, and bright red surfaces can be surprisingly valuable. Collectors know that the difference between a common coin and a valuable one is often in the condition. Another reason why the 1951 S wheat penny is valuable is because of its era coins and varieties. Some of the most interesting varieties include repunched mint marks, known as RPMs, where the S was struck more than once, creating a doubled or tripled appearance under magnification. These varieties are highly collectible and can be worth much more than the standard issue. Other errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and double dies, also exist for the 1951 S penny. These mistakes from the minting process are always popular with collectors and add even more value to this already collectible coin. The historical background of the 1951 penny also adds to its appeal. This coin was struck during the post-war years, at a time when the United States was experiencing rapid growth and change. The 1950s were a time of economic expansion, and pennies like the 1951 S were part of everyday transactions in a thriving society. For collectors today, holding onto a 1951 penny is like holding a small piece of history from the mid-20th century. That connection to the past gives the coin value beyond just its numismatic worth. When we examine the overall demand for Lincoln Wheat Pennies, it's easy to see why the 1951 S coin is important. Collectors of Lincoln cents often try to build complete sets, which means they need one coin from every date and mint mark combination. That makes the 1951 S penny a required piece for completing a wheat cent collection. Even though it is not the rarest wheat penny, it is still necessary for a full set, and that keeps demand steady year after year. Add in the fact that uncirculated examples and rare varieties are much harder to find, and you have a coin that carries significant collector value. The San Francisco Mint reputation also adds to the interest in this coin. Coins struck in San Francisco during the wheat cent years are often collected with enthusiasm because of their distinct mint mark and lower mintages compared to other mints. The S on the 1951 penny signals that it came from a mint with a long history of producing collectible coins, and that alone gives it an edge in the eyes of numismatists. Collectors often look for San Francisco issues from each year, and the 1951 S is no exception. In the coin market today, values for the 1951 S penny range depending on grade and rarity. Average circulated examples may sell for a small premium over face value, but higher grade coins can bring in several dollars, and rare varieties or mint errors can push the value even higher. Coins with bright red luster and minimal marks are the most sought after. These are the kinds of coins that auction houses highlight, and collectors bid competitively for them. The lesson here is that condition matters, and that's why even a common date, like 1951, S can turn into a valuable penny if preserved well. The legacy of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series ensures that coins like the 1951 S will always remain collectible. With millions of people collecting Lincoln cents, demand will never disappear. Some collectors start with wheat pennies found in change, while others actively search coin shops and online markets for specific dates. The 1951 Wheat penny is one of those coins that bridges the gap between common circulation coins and valuable collectibles. It reminds us that not every valuable penny has to be rare. Sometimes condition, history, and mint mark are enough to create lasting collector interest. In conclusion, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark is a coin that holds real value for collectors. Its connection to the wheat cent series, its San Francisco origin, its condition-based premiums, and its varieties and errors all contribute to its worth. Whether you find one in your collection, receive one from an old jar of coins, or purchase one at a coin show, this is a penny that deserves attention. It may be small in size, but the 1951 wheat penny carries big importance in numismatics, and that is why collectors continue to treasure it as a valuable piece of history. Next up, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark is one of the important coins in the wheat cent series and is often considered by collectors to be more valuable than people might expect. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint in the early 1950s, a time when the Lincoln Wheat Penny was already a beloved design and an essential part of everyday American life. Even though millions of these pennies were produced, the 1953 D penny continues to attract the attention of coin collectors, historians, and numismatists because condition, demand, and varieties all play a role in determining its true value. If you happen to have a 1953 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, you should know that this coin is valuable and deserves closer inspection. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, first introduced in 1909, honored the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure like Liberty. On the obverse is the iconic portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse shows two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design remained in place until 1958, giving collectors nearly 50 years of history within the wheat cent series. The 1953 D penny falls into the later years of this design and represents a coin that is both historically important and valuable to collectors. The Denver Mint, where the 1953 D penny was produced, struck hundreds of millions of these coins. The D mint mark appears just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. While the mintage was high, not all 1953 D pennies have survived in great condition. Many were circulated heavily through the 1950s and 1960s, leaving behind worn examples. This is why collectors today put such strong emphasis on condition. Even though the coin is common in circulated grades, uncirculated examples with sharp details and original mint luster are far more valuable. The value of the 1953 D Lincoln Wheat Penny depends heavily on grade. A well-worn circulated penny might only bring a few cents, but a coin that has been preserved in mint state condition, especially in the higher ranges of MS 65 or MS 66, can be worth several dollars or more. Bright red uncirculated examples, with full wheat stalks on the reverse and no significant marks, are highly desirable. Collectors know that coins with strong eye appeal are always worth more, and this is especially true for the 1953 D Wheat Penny. In addition to grade, the errors and varieties of the 1953 D penny add significant value. One of the most well-known varieties is the repunched mint mark, also known as an RPM. Because mint marks were punched into dies by hand during this era, mistakes were common, and many 1953 D pennies show doubled or even tripled mint marks. These repunched mint mark varieties are highly collectible and can be worth far more than the regular issue. Other errors include double die obverse varieties, off-center strikes, and clip planchets. Each of these minting mistakes increases the coin's value and makes the 1953 D penny even more interesting to collectors. The historical background of the 1953 penny also gives it collectible appeal. The early 1950s were a time of post-war prosperity in the United States, and coins like the 1953 D Wheat Penny were used in everyday life by millions of Americans. They bought groceries, paid for transportation, and circulated widely in a booming economy. Today, when collectors hold a 1953 D penny, they hold a piece of mid-20th century history. This sense of nostalgia adds to its desirability and value. When looking at the market demand, it is easy to see why the 1953 D penny continues to attract collectors. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most collected series in American numismatics, and many collectors try to build complete sets from 1909 through 1958. To complete such a set, a collector must have the 1953 D penny, which ensures steady demand. Even though it is not the rarest date in the series, it is required for completion, and that alone makes it valuable. Add in the fact that higher grade coins and rare varieties are much scarcer, and the 1953 D becomes a coin worth paying attention to. Another factor that makes the 1953 D wheat penny valuable is its bronze composition. After the experimental steel pennies of 1943, the mint returned to bronze for its cents, and by 1953, this was once again the standard. The alloy gives the coins their classic red-brown appearance, and collectors appreciate coins that have retained bright red luster. Coins that show this vibrant color are always worth more than those that have toned to brown or dark surfaces. The color designation, red, red-brown, or brown, plays a huge role in determining the value of uncirculated 1953 D pennies. Collectors also know that condition rarity is what drives prices upward. While millions of 1953 D pennies were minted, very few survive today in perfect mint state grades. This makes gem uncirculated coins much more desirable and valuable. Coin grading services often award higher prices for coins that not only grade well, but also have strong eye appeal. That's why the 1953 D penny, even though common in circulation, can be considered a valuable find in top condition. The errors and varieties market for the 1953 D penny is especially strong. Repunched mint marks are popular among Lincoln Cent specialists, and collectors actively seek them out. A coin that might normally be worth only a few dollars can suddenly be worth many times that amount if it features a clear repunched mint mark or double die variety. Off-center errors, which show part of the design missing due to misalignment during striking, are also very collectible and can bring impressive premiums. These errors prove once again that the 1953 D wheat penny is far more valuable than just a common cent. In the end, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark is a coin that every collector needs to understand. Its place in the wheat penny series, its Denver mint origin, its condition-based value, and its potential for valuable errors all make it a coin worth collecting. Even though it is not the rarest wheat cent, it remains important, desirable, and valuable in today's coin market. For collectors, the 1953 D penny represents history, nostalgia, and the excitement of discovering value in what might look like an ordinary 1-cent coin. Next up, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most collectible coins in the Lincoln Cent series, and it remains a coin that many collectors consider valuable. Even though millions were produced, the 1945 penny has a fascinating history, interesting mint mark varieties, and potential errors that make it worth far more than face value in the right conditions. If you happen to own a 1945 penny, you may be holding a piece of history from the year World War II ended, and that connection alone makes this coin important and desirable for collectors all over the world. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin shows Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, giving it the nickname Wheat Penny. By 1945, this coin had already become an American classic, used every day by millions of people across the country. The 1945 penny is not only collectible because of its design, but also because of its historical background. Struck in the same year that World War II came to a close, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is seen as both a monetary tool and a patriotic artifact. This coin is valuable not only in money, but also in history. The 1945 Wheat Penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark. Each of these coins has its own level of rarity and value. The Philadelphia coins are the most common, but collectors still search for high-grade examples with strong detail. The 1945 D penny from Denver and the 1945 penny from San Francisco are also heavily collected, especially in uncirculated condition. The presence of a mint mark can increase desirability, and the San Francisco issues often carry extra collector interest. These mint mark varieties make the 1945 Lincoln cent a coin that appeals to all levels of numismatists. The value of a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny depends mainly on condition. A coin that circulated heavily and shows significant where might only be worth a few cents, but a coin preserved in uncirculated condition with full wheat lines and original red luster can be worth much more. Collectors especially value coins graded mint state 65 or higher, where the surfaces are clean, the details are sharp, and the color is attractive. Bright red examples are always the most valuable, followed by red-brown and brown examples. The difference between a worn 1945 penny and a gem uncirculated 1945 penny can be dramatic, and that is why careful attention to condition is so important. Another reason the 1945 penny is valuable is because of the era coins and varieties that exist. During this time, minting technology still produced noticeable mistakes, and these errors are highly collectible today. Some 1945 pennies show double-die varieties, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These errors are far scarcer than regular issues, and collectors pay strong premiums for them. For example, a 1945 penny with a bold repunched mint mark or a double die can be worth many times the value of a standard coin. Era collecting has become a popular part of numismatics, and the 1945 Lincoln penny plays a role in that market. The historical significance of the 1945 penny also adds to its value. This coin was produced in the same year that World War II ended, making it a symbol of victory and peace. In 1943, pennies were struck in steel to save copper for the war, but by 1944 and 1945, the U.S. Mint returned to using bronze made from recycled shell casings. This means that the 1945 penny was made partly from the materials of the war itself, turning it into a small but powerful reminder of American resilience. Holding a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is like holding a piece of American history in your hand, and that connection gives the coin lasting appeal and value. The market for 1945 pennies is always strong because collectors want them both for historical reasons and for set building. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most collected coin series in the world, and many collectors aim to complete a full set from 1909 through 1958. That means every date and mint mark combination is in demand, including the 1945 penny. Whether it is a Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco issue, these coins are required for completion, and that ensures they remain valuable. The San Francisco Mint issue, the 1945 Wheat Penny, often draws special interest. While its mintage was still in the millions, it was lower compared to Philadelphia and Denver. Collectors frequently pursue San Francisco Wheat Pennies as they add character to a collection and highlight the variety of U.S. mint facilities. Higher-grade examples of the 1945 are not easy to find, and that scarcity in top condition helps boost its value. Collectors also consider the color and eye appeal of 1945 pennies when determining value. Over time, bronze coins can tone from bright red to a deep brown. Coins that have maintained their original red luster are always more valuable because they look closer to how they did when first struck. Eye appeal can sometimes be just as important as technical grade because collectors want coins that are attractive to look at in their albums or display cases. This is another reason why the 1945 penny can be valuable in ways that go beyond just rarity. Another key aspect of the 1945 wheat penny is its role as part of the post-war American economy. Millions of people handled these coins in the years after the war, and they became part of the story of prosperity and rebuilding. Today, when a collector picks up a 1945 penny, they are reminded not only of coinage history, but also of the broader social and economic history of the United States. Coins are tiny time machines, and the 1945 penny carries the memory of a world entering peace after years of conflict. In the end, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is valuable for many reasons: its historical background, its mint mark varieties, its era coins, and its desirability among collectors. While it is true that billions were minted, the condition, the luster, and the presence of rare varieties make all the difference. A circulated 1945 penny might seem ordinary, but in mint state or with a rare error, it can become a highlight of any collection. This is why collectors continue to search for and treasure the 1945 penny, keeping it alive as an important and valuable part of numismatic history. Next up, we'll explore the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny, with the D mint mark is one of the most popular coins from the mid-20th century, and it continues to attract collectors because of its history, design, and potential value. Even though the Denver Mint produced a very large number of these pennies, the 1952 D Wheat Penny remains an important date for the Lincoln Cent series, and a coin that is worth much more than its face value in the right condition. Collectors know that Lincoln Wheat Pennies with the D mint mark can be valuable depending on preservation, luster, and variety, and the 1952 D issue is no exception. The Lincoln Cent series began in 1909, created to honor Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the famous bust of Lincoln, while the reverse shows 2 wheat stalks, giving the coin its nickname Wheat Penny. By the early 1950s, the wheat cent had already been in circulation for more than 40 years, and the 1952 D penny was part of that long tradition. Minted in Denver, Colorado, the coin proudly displays the small D mint mark beneath the date, making it distinct from the Philadelphia and San Francisco issues of that year. This mint mark detail is one reason the 1952 D penny is valuable and collectible. The value of a 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny depends heavily on condition. A coin that circulated widely and shows heavy wear may only be worth a few cents above face value, but when the coin is found in uncirculated mint state condition with sharp detail and full luster, the value increases dramatically. Collectors place special emphasis on red examples, coins that have kept their original bright coppery color since the day they were minted. These red coins are far more valuable than brown or red-brown pieces because they display the original brilliance of the Denver Mint strike. A 1952 D penny in mint state 65 or higher can be worth many times its face value, making it an attractive coin to search for. Another factor that makes the 1952 D Wheat Penny valuable is the presence of error coins and varieties. The Denver Mint was busy in 1952, producing hundreds of millions of cents, and mistakes did occur. Collectors prize coins with double dies, repunched mint marks, die cracks, off-center strikes, and other mint errors. These unusual varieties can turn an ordinary 1952 D penny into a highly collectible and valuable coin. For example, a strong repunched mint mark can catch the attention of collectors and bring in much higher prices than a normal coin. Error collecting is one of the fastest growing areas of numismatics, and the 1952 D Lincoln Cent plays an important role in this field. The historical context also adds to the appeal and value of the 1952 D Lincoln Penny. America was in the post-World War II era, entering a time of prosperity and economic growth. Millions of these pennies circulated in everyday commerce, passing through the hands of ordinary Americans, shopkeepers, and children saving coins in jars. Today, holding a 1952 D penny is like holding a time capsule from that period of American life. Collectors do not just see a copper coin. They see a piece of history that connects them to mid-century America. That historical connection is one of the reasons the coin is valuable to so many collectors. The Denver Mint issue of 1952 also has strong collector demand because Lincoln Cent enthusiasts seek complete sets of every year and every mint mark. A proper Lincoln Wheat Cent collection is not complete without a 1952 D, so the coin is always in demand. Even though it is not considered a rare date in the lowest grades, finding a high-end gem uncirculated 1952 D penny with full detail and attractive color can be a challenge, and that scarcity in top condition drives value upward. This is especially true for collectors who want the very best coins for their albums or registry sets. Eye appeal also plays a major role in determining how valuable the 1952 D Wheat Penny is. Coins with strong luster, smooth surfaces, and original red color are far more desirable than dull, spotted, or heavily toned examples. Collectors often pay premiums for coins that are not only technically high grade, but also visually attractive. The combination of grade and eye appeal can make a huge difference in value, and that is why searching carefully for a choice example of a 1952 D penny can be rewarding. While billions of Lincoln cents have been minted across the decades, the wheat reverse design ended in 1958, making all wheat pennies increasingly collectible as time passes. The 1952 D issue is one of those coins that many people overlook in pocket change or old collections, but sharp collectors recognize its long-term potential. Its position in the later years of the wheat series, its Denver mint mark, its era potential, and its connection to post-war history all combined to make the 1952 D Lincoln cent a coin of lasting importance and value. Collectors continue to seek out the 1952 D wheat penny at coin shows, auctions, and online markets because it remains an affordable yet historically significant piece that can grow in value. Beginners appreciate it because they can find circulated examples easily, while advanced collectors chase the highest grade pieces and rare varieties. This dual appeal ensures that the 1952 D penny remains valuable and popular with every new generation of coin enthusiasts. In the end, the 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is valuable for many reasons. Its Denver mint mark, its historical background, its era coin potential, and its demand among collectors completing wheat cent sets. Even though it is common in lower grades, higher grade coins, bright red examples, and coins with unique varieties can be worth far more than face value. This makes the 1952 D penny an exciting and important coin to look for, and ensures its place as a standout in the Lincoln cent series. Thank you for watching this video on these valuable coins. As you've seen, Lincoln Wheat Pennies, old cents, and collectible coins from history can be worth so much more than face value, making them treasures for coin collectors and anyone interested in numismatics. If you enjoyed learning about these rare and valuable coins, make sure you don't miss my previous video on the Roosevelt 1 dime, where I explain why certain dimes are highly collectible and worth big money today. That video will give you even more insight into the fascinating world of U.S. coins and their true value. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment below to share your thoughts or your own coin collecting experiences. Subscribing ensures you never miss future videos on rare coins, valuable pennies, and hidden treasures that might be in your change right now.